Now with charcoal, 80% of the people in cities in sub-Saharan Africa cook on charcoal. And the charcoal is produced in the villages around these cities. And trees are cut, and the way they produce it, it's inefficient and causes massive methane emissions. And these problems are known because you get deforestation and the emissions, but the governments haven't done anything about it because they thought or they hoped that charcoal as a cooking fuel would be replaced by gas. But that didn't happen for several reasons, and consensus has started to build that it will not happen in the next 20 years. And if you realize that, then the only thing or the thing you have to do is make charcoal production sustainable. And that's exactly what we have been doing. We developed a methodology for producing charcoal more sustainably, and we have tested that for the last 3 years in Mali. It works, and now we are starting to roll it out first in Mali and also in Rwanda, and subsequently also in other sub-Saharan countries.
And tell me about the other aspect of your business, which is solar lamps.
Yes, solar lamps. About 400 million people in sub-Saharan Africa are not connected to the grid. So they use kerosene lamps and torches for lighting. And if you compare a solar lamp to a kerosene lamp, you would expect everybody would change to solar lamps because it's cheaper. You save about $100 per year. It's better light, it's safer, it's healthier. But still, the penetration of solar lamps is only 4%. And there are two reasons for that. One, that people don't know about solar lamps, that they exist. And two, that they don't have the cash to pay upfront for a solar lamp. So we are developing different sales channels and different techniques to overcome these barriers. One of them is partnering with mobile telephone operators, because they have a high penetration, they have well-known brands, and we could use their mobile banking system to sell solar lamps on credit. We focus on the production, so we engage with charcoal producers. And in sub-Saharan Africa, there are about 10 million people living from charcoal production. And what we do, we go to these villages because it's known which villages produce charcoal. They are around the big cities. We go there and demonstrate our methodology, consisting of ovens to produce charcoal more efficiently, and you build them locally with local manufactured bricks, and an oven has a size of about 3 meters by 2 meters and 1 meter high. So that's one aspect. And then the second element of our solution is planting new trees, fast-growing trees that after 4 years can be pruned and used as feedstock for these ovens. So we go to these communities and we enter into a contract with them. We deliver what we call a blue charcoal package, so an oven, seedling, support on credit, and they pay us back over a period of 5 years. So that's also the business model. So basically we make a margin on the ovens and on the seedlings and the support. We need a number of things to scale up and to reach our goal. By 2025, we want to have all charcoal production in sub-Saharan Africa sustainable. And we need a methodology for that. That we have got, and we have tested it, it works. But we need awareness among governments for the problem of non-sustainable charcoal production and for the solution. And we need these governments to adapt their regulations and their tax system to facilitate the transition to sustainable charcoal. We need capital. We calculated that we need about 100 million euros to make all charcoal production in sub-Saharan Africa sustainable. And we need an organization to roll it out. So that are the 4 elements we need, and we are working on it. That's one of the reasons I am here in New York this week, to meet with potential partners that can help to raise the awareness, can provide part of the funding, and also like NGOs who have on-the-ground organizations that we can utilize these organizations to roll out the solution. it provides us with a platform to get introduced to partners, companies that might be useful for us to realize our goal. And also they have been helpful to introduce us to specific UN departments, because we are only a small organization, so we don't have the means to figure it out who we need exactly. So they have been very helpful with that.